Yo, it's your boy Uncle Pre, and this week, well, I've got my hood kind of like settled up. This week, I want to talk about how I went from looking like this to this in the space of 10 weeks, and then subsequently this. Just a bit more background story. I've been gymming, and I say the word training, since the age of 16. Along that journey, I have built up some bad habits, some bad technique and form, which have then led to minimal results. When I say minimal results, absolutely pathetic. So I always like the concept of trying to be ripped. Let's say footballers and that kind of like athlete body. I always kind of wanted to be in that position, and so I would always like try and tense, work on my abs, etc. But I always had this element of stomach fat which would always like follow me around. And I realized that, let's say from the age of 16 to like 25, 26 years old, so like for a good 10 years of training, I had gone about it in a very, very silly way. Something I feel a lot of people do right now, which is following YouTube videos, finding apps and using those plans, etc., and just trying to like do what other people have done, versus actually doing what I subsequently did, which was hiring someone which was going to help me a lot better. This was during COVID, and I thought, well, I can't really train the way I want to, and I've been doing all of these diets. I've done intermittent fasting, loads of proteins, a bit of veganism every now and then. Nothing seemed to be getting me the results I really wanted to see. And I realized if I looked at myself when I was at uni and how built I was very, very skinny, and obviously over time I'd put on a bit of muscle but not enough. I used to think before going to the gym, and even if I ate clean throughout the whole week, filling myself up with pizza on the weekend, KFC, a doner kebab, fish and chips, was fine. I was in my calorie amount because, you know what, throughout the whole week I was under 2,000 calories. You know, I was strong. But what I didn't realize is that on that weekend, I just went from going from normally having 2,000 to maybe 4,000, 4,500. That's 10,000 plus 9, 19,000. So in my head, I thought I was doing well, 14,000 calories over that period of time, 2,000 a day, sick, cool. I really wasn't. This is a myth I told myself, like, yo, you're training so you can afford to eat it, you're allowed to eat it, etc. But I just wasn't doing the maths in my head in regards to what I was consuming. So that subsequently had a knock-on effect in regards to the fact that, yo, this stomach fat just wasn't going to go. Anyway, I wanted to like change things up a little bit. And so I thought one thing I could definitely do, by seeing a couple of other my friends who had been training with this one person, the results that they obtained, let's see whether or not that could work for me. It was just an online plan, sent that over to me. I realized the change in my mindset. I wasn't going to not do what he told me to do. It wasn't expensive, but when you pay for something, your mindset completely changes. Go to an open buffet, whether you might not clean your plate, whereas if you know you're paying a lot of money for the food that's there, you're possibly going to make sure you enjoy every piece of it, or not let that plate go back with any food left on it. I realized that the plan he had gave me, I had to meet that, because if I don't meet this, what's going to happen? Interesting thing was steps. We had to hit, let's say, 12,000 steps, 15,000 steps a day, and I'm thinking, it's fucking January, it's cold as fuck, how the hell am I going to do that? And then there was a thing in regards to checking your heart rate when you did certain bits of cardio. It was training twice versus training once, and the exercises weren't 15, 16 exercises that I had in my original plans when I was training. I'd do, like, say, a chest day where I did 6, 7 chest exercises, 4 or 5 tricep exercises, and a few bits of abs. Like, no, it was like 4 or 5 exercises, this kind of routine, do this number of reps, this pace. And I started seeing changes. Going out for steps every morning, I realized, this is changing up the game a little bit more now. Like, this is an element of cardio. I'd play football 2-3 times a week and think, yo, I should be slim. But no, I wasn't paying attention. Then when the diet came into place and he gave me a food plan in regards to, look, this is how much you're allowed to eat. I want you to just try this for a week, see the results. So I'll check the scale weight every day versus doing it once a week, because one week you may have a good week and a bad week. Like, I need you to be consistent over it. And it started painting a better picture, because you started seeing results consistently, and all of a sudden I had one massive drop, and then it dropped a little bit, and then another little drop, and a little drop, and a little drop, and eventually you saw the scale weight going down. When I looked at myself in the mirror and I looked at my progress photos, I was like, okay, this is slightly getting a little bit more ripped. And by month 1, we hit a checkpoint. You changed up the routine. You made it a bit more intense. It's mad when you've hired someone to do that. I saw myself going for a 2-hour walk on a Sunday, which was meant to be a rest day for me. A 2-hour walk in the snow. You know, if you don't do it, then what the fuck are you paying for? It's crazy there. The mindset completely changes when you have someone truly hold you accountable, and there's no way else that you can like avoid it. And anyway, so this is what this guy was doing for me. He gave me a plan, 10 weeks. So it was 1 month, change it the next month, and then like 2 weeks we had like the final cut period. I saw these results and I was like, wow, I was in reasonable shape. And then at this point, I was from Clubhouse and I got introduced to K-Mac Fitness, my guy Kanal, and he said, yo, bro, I'll train you. Continue this like cut period for a little bit longer, and then we'll introduce you other things so you can maintain this level of growth that you've got right now and the strength that you've obtained, etc., etc. Subsequently, on the back end of that, like, yo, I was in positions where I went from this in, like, say, March time till this now in, like, say, May, June is when we said, look, we need to stop cutting right now because your body's completely deflated. It needs more energy, etc. And this is what I was looking like. I was super happy. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I look hella skinny in these photos, and possibly a bit too much. Like, I went from being 82 kilos initially in January to being 68, I think it was. And then I think it was then 66 by May. So I managed to lose like 2 more kilos in that period of time, being a bit more aggressive with the diet. Then subsequently on the back end of that, all the results then started changing. And my mindset towards the gym started changing because I've learned a few things from these trainers and what they taught me. And it was like the technique and the form. And this is what happened when I started training with K-Mac after. On the back end of it was he started introducing this like reverse dieting and how you get yourself to not just do this yo-yo effect, but a lot about how much water to consume. And it was an interesting journey, to say the least. And if you look at a number of what these PTs and online coaches are able to provide for their clients, it's because they hold them accountable and they push them in a direction which is going to help them get results. Always used to like parade this when I was training with K-Mac. For someone who couldn't really do pull-ups, not so much dips either, kind of thing, like I went from, and if I'm going to try and find the videos and put them here, you can see what I was doing. And like, this is like my pull-ups to then what I was able to subsequently do like months after consistently applying yourself and just believing that you can do this. And this is what like I was able to do. Like your strength, my strength went from being able to do a dip of 0 added weight to 30-40 kilos of extra added weight. I've been able to do that with a pull-up as well. Like I've never had the muscle and the ability to be able to do that, but naturally now over time I've built enough significant strength, and your muscle memory and stuff like that comes into play. And I was able to pull up, I think, up to 20. I think I got up to even 30. I tried like a couple of reps. That's crazy, considering that my body weight has increased, but I have managed to add more weight to my body to then lift myself up. It's mad. That's why I'm a big advocate in getting someone, if you're looking to try and find transformational goals in regards to your fitness, your relationships, whether it is your business, whether it is your finances. There are so many people out there who have trained and applied themselves in a manner where they have learnt the fundamentals differently and now apply themselves in a manner where they help others do the things that possibly they couldn't do if they were doing it alone. Yo, if you want help with something, ask. If they charge, why not run with it? These coaches I've worked with, I've learned the fundamentals. I have learned the techniques. And the moral of the story, what I'm trying to say, is that if you are looking for results in a space of time and you feel like you're not getting anywhere closer towards those results, a good bit of advice would be to hire someone who is a professional or who has got relevant experience in that area, obtain the skills, the knowledge that you personally require and need to get to that next level, and take it from there. If you're enjoying the process, you continue. You don't necessarily want to hold that person's hand for the rest of your life, but at the same time, like, if they add value, sick. This is a reason why people like go to therapists consistently. Reason why people work with me from a coaching perspective is purely based on the fact of like, they want to see the results. They're not happy with where they are right now, and they consistently want to grow in this certain area. They know that this isn't enough, and I'm the right person to speak to. I'm the right person to hold them accountable. I'm the right person that's going to kick their ass into shape to actually make sure they do the things that they've been avoiding doing. So this general process and this whole transformation, this whole video right now, was just meant to be a little indication of what possibly could happen if you apply yourself differently, and the benefits and the rewards you can obtain from working with someone who's an expert in that field, and what you can learn and what you can grasp from it in regards to your own acceptance and reality and what it is that you want moving forward in your life. Anyway, enough waffling. It's been your boy Uncle Pre, and I'm signing out. Peace.